All right, now what happens if we have a system of linear inequalities? And a system of inequalities is a set of two or more inequalities with the same variables. And to be a solution to a system of inequalities, the ordered pairs must make all of the individual inequalities true at the same time. Now, anytime we have a system of inequalities like this one, we're going to solve it using the exact same strategy when we had and compound inequalities before. Remember, before on a number line, we graphed each individual inequality on the same number line, and those numbers that were shaded twice, those numbers that made every individual inequality true, was a solution to the and compound inequality. Here, we're going to graph each of these inequalities on the set of axes below, and those numbers that are shaded twice, those are going to be the numbers that make each of these inequalities true. They're going to make this system of inequalities true. So why don't you pause the video and graph each of these individually on the same axes below. All right, so now that we've graphed both of these individual inequalities on the same set of axes, it's very clear which ordered pairs make both of them true at the same time, the ones that are shaded in both red and blue, so this region right here. And it's really helpful to do something to let the reader know that this is the solution set. That could be just an arrow saying solution set, or maybe you highlight the whole thing, or you put a border around the whole thing, but do something so the reader knows that this is the solution set. Now, if you've got colors to work with, that's great. It'll be so much easier for the reader to understand which graph goes with which inequalities. If you don't have colors and you're working with the same color the whole time, maybe if you're using just a pencil, I would suggest making a pseudo key like the one that I made here. Anything you can do to make your graph more clear for the reader is definitely a good idea. All right, so now all we have left to do is practice. So we're going to do 3 examples, one at a time, in which you are given a system of inequalities, and I want you to graph all the ordered pairs that make both of these inequalities true at the same time. Here's an example where one of our inequalities has only one variable, but the strategy is going to remain exactly the same. So we're just going to graph both of these inequalities individually on the same set of axes below, and those ordered pairs that are shaded twice, those are the ordered pairs that are going to make both of these inequalities true at the same time. They're going to make this system of inequalities true. So why don't you find that solution set? All right, last example. And again, we've got a system of inequalities in which one of these inequalities has only one variable. So again, why don't you pause the video and graph the solution set to this system of inequalities. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you enjoyed.